In the bright, sunny village of Velagapudi, a new day was just beginning. The air was filled with familiar sounds and smells. Women were sweeping their courtyards, their brooms making soft whispers against the ground. Beautiful rangoli patterns bloomed like colorful flowers outside every doorway. Others were on their way to the well, balancing shiny brass pots on their heads. Children, with happy shouts, ran barefoot along the dusty lanes, their laughter echoing between the mud houses. Among them was Arun, a cheerful boy with fluffy curly hair and big, curious brown eyes. He and his friends were heading to the weekly village market, swinging their small cloth bags with excitement. They couldn't wait to see the stalls piled high with mangoes, fragrant flowers, and handmade toys. But as they walked past the giant banyan tree, they saw a crowd gathered around a bullock cart. The cart was tilted strangely to one side, looking like it might tip over any second. The cart driver, an old man in a simple white dhoti, looked very worried and upset. All the villagers were talking at once, trying to figure out what was wrong. "It must be the wheel," one person declared. "No, look, the ground here is uneven," another argued, pointing to the dirt road. A third villager shook his head. "I think the load is just too heavy on that side." The cart was full of sacks of rice and fresh vegetables, ready for the market, but nothing seemed broken or out of place. Arun watched everything quietly, his curly hair bouncing gently in the warm morning breeze. The old cart driver sighed and explained, "This keeps happening. Every time I take this cart out, it tilts to the same side. It doesn't matter if the road is flat or bumpy. We've had the mechanic check the wheel, and we've restacked the sacks a dozen times. Nothing works." While everyone else continued to argue, Arun decided to take a closer look. He walked slowly around the entire cart, his eyes scanning every detail. He knelt down in the dust, running his small hands over the wooden planks of the cart's floor. He examined the big wooden wheels one by one. He checked the strong ropes that tied the sacks down, and he looked at the two bullocks, who stood there patiently, flicking their tails. He noticed the shadow underneath the cart wasn't even. It was darker and longer on the tilted side. This was a clue. Arun gently asked the crowd, "Could everyone please take a few steps back?" He then crawled a little way under the cart, careful not to get his green kurta too dusty. He reached up and touched the wooden floor from below. That's when he felt it. Something was odd. The wooden frame felt thicker on one side. He knocked on the wood with his knuckles. On the right side, it made a light sound, tok tok tok. But when he knocked on the left side, the sound was different, deeper, took took took. The villagers watched him, completely puzzled. What was this little boy doing? Arun crawled back out and looked at the cart driver. "Sir," he asked politely, "did someone repair this cart recently?" The old man's eyes widened in surprise. "Why, yes." He nodded. "A carpenter from the next village replaced a broken plank just last week." A big smile spread across Arun's face. He knew he had found the answer. "That's it," he announced. "The problem isn't the wheel or the ground or how the sacks are loaded. It's the wood itself," he explained. "The new plank the carpenter used is much heavier than all the other old planks. So even when the rice sacks look perfectly balanced on top, the weight of the heavy wood underneath is making the whole cart tilt to one side." A gasp went through the crowd. It was so simple, yet no one had thought of it. The hidden weight was in the cart's own floor. Arun suggested a simple fix. "We can either replace the heavy plank with a lighter one," he said, "or we can add some extra weight to the other side to balance it out." Immediately, a few villagers ran to the nearby riverbank and came back carrying 2 small sacks filled with sand. They carefully placed the sacks on the lighter side of the cart's floor. And just like magic, the cart slowly straightened up until it was perfectly balanced. Everyone cheered. The villagers were amazed. They lifted Arun up onto their shoulders, celebrating his clever idea. The old cart driver had a huge smile of relief on his face. Arun blushed a little but said wisely, "When things look uneven, always remember sometimes weight hides in the places you can't see." With the problem solved, Arun and his friends waved goodbye and continued on their way to the bustling market, ready for the wonderful sights and sounds of their village life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow